The more items that you can print with your heat press, the more sales opportunities that you can capitalize on. In the video you're about to watch, we'll walk you through how to print more in your business. This session was previously recorded in our Heat Press for Profit live virtual event in January 2021. I hope you enjoy, and I know it will help you grow.
Andy Peters here from Stahls. I hope everybody's been enjoying the day so far. I know on our end, we've been busy as can be, doing these seminars all day long. So this is my last one for today, but that's not the last one for Stahls. So after I'm done, stick around. I believe Jennifer's up next, and I don't know what she's going to talk about, but I'm sure it'll be pretty exciting. I think it might be a cat press. I am here today to discuss with you, this is a print more per hour segment. We're going to talk about heat printing platens, basically changing interchangeable platens on your heat presses to make it easier to press difficult garments, difficult shaped garments, garments with zippers, buttons, and stuff like that. And also to make it a little bit easier and faster for you to produce your garments. If you have the right equipment, we can work faster, we can get more done. If you're doing 40 t-shirts an hour and with the proper platen, we can get you to 50, hey, that's money right there. So the more we can do, the faster we can do it, the more efficient we can do it, and with the better products to do it, it's just going to make us more successful altogether. We're going to look at a couple things. We're going to look at my heat press. We're going to press some stuff, and we're going to do that while we switch out between different platens. So basically, we're going to jump in, and just like I said, this is a Heat Press for Profits live seminar all day, and this is the print more per hour segment. So platens basically help you to increase product opportunities. If you think about, you have a heat press, and I know we have some people on here who are been heat pressing for years, bigger companies. We have smaller companies and people that are just starting out. So to let you know, when you have different size platens, it allows you to do different types of products. As you can see up here, we can do sweatshirts, t-shirts, hats, bags, scarves. We can do home goods, all different kinds of things, as long as we have the proper equipment. And like I said before, time is money. Utilizing the tools that are going to best be available to us are going to make us more efficient. So why do platens matter? Well, there's a lot of different reasons why platens matter. They allow for a smooth heat printing surface. If you think about a heat press in the platen, yeah, of course it's smooth. But now throw a garment on like I have with a zipper down the front of it, and you lay that flat on this platen, it's no longer smooth anymore. We have this bump in the middle. How do we get rid of this? We can use a smaller platen to move that zipper off to the side. It's less heat onto the actual garment itself. Some garments are heat sensitive. They react differently when you put them under the heat. So if we use a platen that actually fits the size of our transfer, what happens is if we're getting a mark around that, the mark is going to be closer to the transfer and a lot less noticeable. The zipper jacket that I have on right now, this has a plastic zipper on it. This is not something you want to put underneath your heat press. I have melted plastic zippers before. Once you melt the plastic zipper, that's it. The jacket is ruined because nobody wants a jacket that doesn't zip up anymore. And of course, like I said, this is going to increase our overall efficiency. It's just going to allow us to have an easier opportunity working with our heat press. Why not make it simple? Why not make it easy? Why not make the job run smoothly? Let's heat print on an area that's going to fit the garment, the bag, or the item that we want to press onto. Couple things. Like I said, we have lots of items that we can work on. We kind of went over this a minute ago. With your standard heat press, you're going to do adult tees, youth tees. You can do some bags. When we get into specialty platens, you're going to see things like headwear. And when I talk about headwear, I don't mean a baseball hat. A baseball hat, to do headwear with a baseball hat, you basically need a cat press. But if you were talking a beanie hat or even a winter wool hat like this, if you can see me in the little picture over there, this would reach right onto a square platen, and we would be able to put some sort of emblem right on the front of that. So we have to think about which equipment is going to be best for the types of jobs we want to do. Or we have to think about which equipment is going to allow us to do the jobs we want to do and haven't been able to do yet. Before we get started in talking about the actual platens and looking at the actual platens, a couple of things to think about. If you currently have one of our Hotronix heat presses, say you have a fusion press or an air fusion or even a dual air fusion, those presses, as you know, they have a complete clearance underneath the press, which means you can open up a shirt and dress it onto a platen. So if we can dress a shirt onto a platen, then any type of platen is going to work. We can slide legs on there and we have complete clearance underneath it, so nothing gets bunched up. If you have a press like mine, which is a Hotronix auto clam press, and let's take a look at this real quick, I guess. Sorry about that. So if you have a Hotronix press like mine, which is an auto clam, you'll notice that on a normal auto clam, it sits on the table right here, and this is actually part of the machine. So what I did was I added on this counter caddy underneath this. What this allows us to do is when the shirt goes on, rather than hitting the bottom of the platen here, it actually slides completely underneath it and gives us complete clearance. We have a couple of options for you with that one. We have this counter caddy that sits right here, and then we have the stand-up caddy, which has the stand-up caddy, which the stand-up caddy has the caster wheels on the bottom of it, so it moves nice and easily to flow around the room. It's adjustable height-wise, so if you're taller, you can raise it up. If you're shorter, you can bring it down. So those are a couple of options if you have a clam press, whether it's a Hotronix auto clam or if it's a max press, they're both going to fit on these two items. And they're just going to make your life a lot easier. It's a great addition to have when you're using an auto clam press. Otherwise, what I would recommend is that you hop into a fusion press that already has the complete clearance underneath it. If we talk about platens, your basic platens that you're going to see on a heat press are your 16 by 20, which is this press right here, or 16 by 16. Those two press sizes come standard. And then also an 11 by 15 and a 6 by 10. These are the platens that you should at least have in your shop at all times. The 16 by 20, it's going to be great for doing t-shirts, oversized shirts, backs of jackets, bags, pillows, blankets, larger items that easily fit onto the press. If you get into a women's fitted style shirt or toddler clothes or even some youth size t-shirts, it's hard to open that up and dress it over the platen. The shirts don't stretch out over the top of it, and if you have a seam or a button, or even if you have a V-neck or a pocket, drawstrings, all these things can get in the way if we're not dressing the shirt onto the platen. The 6 by 10, that's going to work for baby clothing, onesies, youth shirts, bags, stuff like that. I also like to use the 6 by 10 to do some left chests. I feel it's a little bit easier if you can just put the left chest on there, line it up that way, rather than having to put the whole shirt on there and lining up the whole shirt. We can set it off to one side and we can pinpoint the area a little bit easier and we can press that. The next level of platens that we would suggest for your heat press would be like a 4x4, which is a very small one. This is going to fit inside the pocket of bags, smaller like bags that have straps. It's going to work great with onesies. It's also good for doing inside tags on the inside of the shirt. The 6 by 20 is the sleeve and leg platen. Now this platen is really recommended only for the fusion because the platen is actually very narrow when it fits on this. The legs that we still have to go under are a little bit wider. We're going to use one today, but it's really recommended for the fusion. If I had an auto clam and I want to do sleeves and legs, what I would recommend is using a Teflon pillow. Those are products that are offered at Stahls as well. Then we have the 7-inch round circle. This was always used to do like bucket hats and the sides of round bags, stuff like that. So it just makes it easier. You can also use these to do shoulder prints, left chest. It really depends on the shirt you have, but sometimes when you're working with a smaller lower platen, it just pinpoints the area a little bit better and makes it a lot easier to work with. So what I like to tell you, so if we see here, we start with a press that's a 16 by 20. I like to start with a 16 by 20 press or at least a 16 by 16. That is because we can always change the lower platen and make a press smaller. However, we cannot change the upper platen and make the press bigger. So with a 16 by 20 area up top, it allows us to have this machine be a 16 by 20, a 6 by 10, a 6 by 20, 7-inch circle, a 4 by 4, all with the same upper platen, just changing out the lower platen. We also do a lot of specialty platens. We do a can coulis platen, which we're going to show you in a little bit. The can coulis platen is actually very cool. You can slide can coulis onto the ends of it, press them very easily so they don't move. You can slide gloves onto the edge of it. Makes it very easy to put gloves on there. We can do masks on this, all sorts of different items. We also have the double sleeve platen. This one would allow you to do 2 sleeves at one time. You can also do 2 sleeves on one time and a back neck tag at the same time if you dress it over the front of the machine. An interesting thing is that we did have somebody do some UGG boots. They put their UGG boots on there. They slid one on each side of it and easily pressed both boots at the same time. So it was an interesting one, but it worked out very well. We also carry shoe platens. Shoe platens are great if you're in the sports market. Sports market is hot right now. Well, after COVID, it was going really hot and then it kind of slowed down. But the shoe platen is great, especially popular in soccer. We're seeing a lot of soccer players getting their number on the side of their shoe and their name or team logo printed on the back of the shoe. So lots of different things we can do with these. You can also do flip-flops with those as well. So really, as long as you have the platens, it's the sky's the limit. Heat printing is the easiest way to go. So it's the easiest way to allow you to get onto all different types of products. So what we're going to do is we're going to step over to our heat press again. And right now I have the 16 by 20 large platen on here. This is the regular adult size platen. And what we're going to do is we're going to show you how an adult size platen would fit onto a hoodie. So this is your standard hoodie, hood, drawstring, pocket. If we were to open this up and load this onto the machine, and I will load it on backwards because we're going to do the back of the shirt. So when I load this on there backwards, I've got a very nice big open area to print the whole back of the shirt. Now, this particular sweatshirt, the seams aren't extremely thick and the collar does have a fold over, so there are some obstacles in front of it. So rather than after pressing the front of it on there, what I'm actually going to do is I am going to remove the large 16 by 20 platen, and I am going to put on our 11 by 15. Actually, I'm going to put on our 15 by 11. Turn sideways, they still fit in. The nice thing about this is with this particular sweatshirt, the way it's set up, we have the fold over and the drawstrings here giving us an uneven surface. And then at the bottom, of course, we have the large seams for the pocket. So if we dress this onto the platen, upside down like so, what I can do is I can actually take that pocket and push it all the way off the back. And pull this right up to the front. And there's my seam and my fold over of the hoodie is hanging off the front and that back part is hanging off the back. So we have absolutely no obstacles in there. So what we can do is we can go ahead and I have a goof-proof transfer from Transfer Express. We have to check. Every time we change the heat platen, I must tell you this, when we change the heat platen, it generally changes the pressure of the machine. And that took us up to about a 9 pressure. So I'm going to back that off just a little bit. That also helped us do our preheat. So I'm going to take our Eagles dance cheer and line it up right here with the middle of the sweatshirt. Line it up nice and straight and drop it down a little bit. Measure from the top. This is a 360 to 365 press for 4 to 6 seconds, and it's a hot peel. So goof proof is a great way to decorate cotton garments. Pull that off, and voila, we have our heat transfer on our shirt. Looks great. We did not get any bumps in the way. We did not have any seams in the way either. Put that one over there. From that, what we can do is we can look into more of a women's fitted size shirt, which I have right here. So we're going to change this out from an 11 by 15 to a 15 by 11. And so this shirt is much slimmer fit, When we get to the edges, women's shirts, they tend to have these short sleeves. These short sleeves aren't as long, and what happens is you'll get a seam here and a seam here and a seam through the middle, and all that causes a lot of bulkiness. So what we can do is we can open that up onto this press again, and now we have a nice clean area in front of us. Straighten out our shirt. Get a press there. It makes it very easy to measure out the shirt to see if it's straight. Pull our collar off. And there we go. We'll be ready to be pressing on that one. So we're not going to press that one on here because we're actually going to change it to a different platen from this one. And we are going to move over to our 6x10 or 10x6. We're going to use it as 6x10. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this as a left chest. So if we pop this one in here on the platen, we go back to our women's fitted size shirt that we have here. What we can do is we can simply open up the shirt again. Oops. Put it onto our platen. Line it up with our seam. We'll grab our transfer that we have here. I got one right back here. Oh, you know what? This press is just going to be a really bit hot for this particular transfer. I'm going to turn this press down quite a bit. And then I'm going to turn my pressing time up a little bit. So this is the pattern fabrics, pattern vinyls from Stahls. This is a printed, it's like a tie-dyed orange and white color. It's made out of our express print material. So if you have a print and cut system, this is something you could make yourself. If you don't, you can order the printed vinyl from Stahls and run it through your regular cutter. We are going to be really hot on this one, but we're going to give it a shot anyways, because I don't have two heat presses to turn this one down a little bit. When we go to do a left chest, basically what we do is we come off where the shoulder seam meets the collar seam, and we come down from there, and that's going to find our center point. Then once we get there, we're going to look at our seam underneath our shirt, and that's going to come down, and depending on the size of your logo, that should technically be in the middle of your logo. So put that right up there, down from the front, we move that over just a little bit more. And hopefully we don't melt this because this is really hot. We have no pressure on our machine because we did change out our platen size. What we're going to do is we're going to increase our pressure a little bit and lock it in place. We still didn't get enough pressure on that one. We're really going to have to crank this down. What happens is when you change from a larger platen to a smaller platen, the pressure doesn't get dispersed as much, and therefore you have to put more pressure on it when you get into the center area. Okay, so now we're up to a lot of pressure. So I went a little bit too far, but that's okay. I believe the heat is going to be actually the main thing that we're a little bit worried about here. We heat pressed this at 350 degrees, and it should have been heat pressed at 300 degrees. So we're going to take that off. Now this one is a warm peel, so about 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it came out perfect. So fit right in the middle of the shirt. Nice job. Looks fantastic, smooth on. Very easy to line up with our smaller platens. Since we are still kind of warm on this, what we'll do is I'm going to show you out the sleeve and leg platen. This is our sleeve and leg platen. Like I said, this platen right here, this is recommended for the fusion press, actually. The fusion press is got that complete clearance so that it opens up wider around the footing of this. But since this is what we have right now, I've got a nice pair of pants that are going to fit on this very well. So we'll show you those. Right now, let's reset our press. So if we grab our sweatpants, what happens is we load it from the top of the sweatpants, not from the bottom of the sweatpants. So what we'll do is we'll look at which leg we want it on. We're going to want it on this leg. We're going to go around here, wrap it all the way up. into the press, find our center spot. Check our pressure. The pressure is really heavy on this one, so we're going to back off our pressure because we do have another size platen in there. Still really hot on our pressure. That looks really good. So we're at a pressure of 6. Open this up, and then we're going to grab our leg transfer. This is going down this leg, so we want it to say dance. We line up our goof-proof transfer again. Press it down 4 to 6 seconds. And this is a hot peel. Perfect right off. And then we have a nice leg print on the leg of our pants. So this is going to go along with our sweatshirt here. We've kind of added 2 items together to make nice dancing apparel for the dance squad for their warm-ups before they go out doing their cheering. Besides that, we have other platens that, like we talked about, are specialty platens. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at our can coolie platen. I'm going to try and adjust the seat just so it doesn't keep heating up on us because we do want to go down. So we get this down to 100. We're going to take our time back up to 12. We got our sleeve and leg platen. And grab our can coolie platen. And then you say, well, you know, I don't do a lot of can coolies, but can coolies are a nice add-on product that you can sell, but you can also use these to do gloves, left chest, small bags, anything that you can fit on the end of these. So we're going to grab a couple of can coolies. As you see here, we got some nice neon pink colors. They can fit onto every prong of this machine. So you can grab one, slide one here, put another one up over here on this one. So with this process, we can do 8 can coolies at one time. So what we're going to do with our can coolies, we've got a express print CAD prints decal. Take these, line these up right on the platen. Super easy. Working right in front of us. Grab another one for the other side. Drop that right there. Now I don't have any small decals, but if we were doing face masks, I know this is a youth size face mask, but if I was doing face masks, I could do the same thing with a face mask. And I could drop that on there. And by doing that, all my straps are hanging off to the side. I'm getting a nice print area right in the middle. So I could go face mask, face mask, face mask, face mask, and do a bunch of face masks at the same time. So it's got a lot of options, a lot of different things that you can do with it. So we forgot to check our pressure on this one. So I think that's wise that we take these off. This platen's a little bit different. It's a stable platen. It doesn't have the padding on it, so it is going to need a lot more pressure. So let's see if we can knock this one down a little bit, get our pressure in the right spot. Still not there. A little bit more. It's a lot of adjustments with the pressure when you're changing from platens to platens. But that's pretty simple. We can get that done right away by pressing it down, checking out how the pressure is going, and move on from there. So we're going to drop our can coolies back on. Can coolie on this side as well. One up front, one in the back, so we can see it on both sides. Lines on and heat print. The express print is 300 degrees for 12 seconds. Yes, we are a little hot, but we didn't have enough time to cool it down. Certainly didn't want to make you wait. 1 and 0. Since this is express print, it is not quite a hot peel, but it is a warm peel. So we basically take them off. Count to 5. Oops. Voila, we printed our can coolies. So can coolies work on this, masks work on this. We can also do other products Like I said, bags, anything that's small enough to fit on the edge of that platen. This is the other one right there. Those are kind of the platens that we wanted to talk to you about today. What I really wanted to, the message that I wanted to put out there was using different platens can allow you to work faster, more efficient, and easy. I've been in the past where I've tried to do a sleeve of a shirt. I didn't have the proper equipment. I was put my sleeve underneath there. I was trying to balance it and holding it up with my knee so I could get the press closed. Everything was moving. It was a nightmare. I had to do one shirt. I got it. Had I had to do 10, 15, or a larger job, the proper equipment would have made the job so much easier. So one other product that we do want to discuss really quick, and then what we can do is we can kind of move on, but we are going to go back over here. Oops, don't know if I did that. Hold on one second. We're going to go back over here and we're going to talk about our power platens. So we have power platens at Stahls, and what they are heated lower platens. Why do we need a heated lower platen? Well, there are a couple different reasons. Reason number one, a heated lower platen takes the heat from the bottom to the top rather than from the top to the bottom. If you're using a product like a patch that's thick, a heavy patch, one of our flex style products, when you go to heat that, you actually have to heat through the top of that all the way through a flex style product or a patch just to get the adhesive on the other side hot enough. By doing that, we generally have to take our heat press, lock it down for 30 seconds to heat up the lower platen. And then we have to heat press this for like 30 to 40 seconds to get it to apply. I think even 60 seconds in some cases. With the heated lower platen, when we put that on there, the heat goes directly to the back of the patch rather than on top of the patch and doesn't have to go through the patch. We take the upper heat, we take it way down to 220 degrees, and then we can move and we can do patches twice as fast as we could if we didn't have a power platen. Another thing about the power platens is power platens, like I said, the heat's from the bottom, not from the top. So if you've ever had that polyester shirt or that sublimated shirt that the minute you heat press it, it got a heat press box on it. Well, we can't have that. That's not what our customer wants. They want the shirt to look like the shirt's supposed to with the design on it. So what we do is we open up that shirt and we dress it on our platen like I did with every shirt we touched today. The heat on the lower platen is going to be 320 degrees, where the heat on the upper platen is going to be 220 degrees. By doing that, if we do get a scorch mark on the shirt, it's going to happen on the inside of the shirt rather than on the face of the shirt. By doing this, we can avoid those. We can start using more products like the Sanmar Hex camouflage polyester shirt, sublimated polyester shirts, and other polyester shirts that tend to change colors. If you're interested in looking into power platens, we sell the power platens individually or as a set. Along with the power platens, you do need a control box. So you get one control box and whatever platens you go along with it. We have them in all the sizes, the 16 by 20s, the sleeve and legs, the 6 by 10s, the 4 by 4s, and I believe we have an 8 by 10 as well. So lots of different options there. If you have a specialty product that you're always working with, maybe that's the size you should look into. If you're looking to expand your business into other products, this is going to be really helpful for you as we get away from t-shirts and into bags, into can coolies, into face masks, and all these other things that have straps, strings, zippers, pockets, anything that's going to be an obstacle that's going to get in the way, or just by making it smaller, just to make it more efficient and easy to get a back tag on, or a left chest, or even to do a sleeve print. That's kind of what I had for you today. I don't know if we had any questions. I think Allison was answering all the questions as we went. I'm going to stop sharing there and change back to me. So that's Platens today. If you have further questions about Platens, you can message me in the messenger room. You can email me. I'd be more than happy to help you out. Give me a phone call, however you'd like to work it out. Ask Allison in the chat right now. She'll answer any questions that you have. And if there's any questions that weren't asked or weren't answered, I will look into those afterwards and see if I can help you out. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoy. There's more classes going on all through the evening. We're going to do it again tomorrow. So if you missed anything, come on back. We'd be more than happy to see you again. Thanks again. I'm Andy Petrus. Have a wonderful evening.